So, as Ami's just said, we're from GM Hire, which is an organisation which is a collaboration between all the different educational institutions that you can see on screen now. So, for example, Manchester Uni. What we do is provide young people like yourselves with impartial information and advice and guidance on, processing and progressing onto higher education, the different options that are available. And although we work with Uni of Bolton, especially with us being in the Bolton Bury Rochdale hub, we do give completely impartial advice. Mm-hmm. So now that you know about me and Amy, you can tell us a few things about yourselves if you want to unmute yourself or just speak up. So my history was that I went to University of Leeds and I studied French and history. I did a year abroad in Paris. So if you want to ask any questions about that. And Amy, you did?
I did theatre at the University of Bolton, so that's where I studied. I wouldn't say I was born and bred in Bolton, absolutely not. I basically moved here, so I've lived here for a long time, for like the best part of 14 years now. So I've pretty much stayed within Bolton for my education. So that's where I went, and yeah, I've been able to kind of do some other stuff, but yeah, studied theatre mainly. There's somebody waiting in the lobby. Am I okay to let them in, Danny? Just I don't know if I should let them in, but I'm gonna assume that they are here because
Yeah, I would let them
they
in.
have a link, right? But yeah, so do let us know who you are, like what you're studying currently. So are there any favorite subjects that you have at school? Do you have any jobs in mind for the future? Just pop it in the chat box if you want, or unmute yourself like Ellie said. Oh, there's some more people. I'm just gonna let them in.
We started a bit too prematurely.
Yeah, we're sorry. So for everyone who is here and like wondering who we are, hi to those people who joined. You've not missed anything. My name's Amy, and this is Ellie, and we're going to be doing a presentation with you guys today. So just feel free to participate in any way that you want. I can't see the chat box. Can you, Ellie?
Yeah, I've got it up.
Okay, lovely. I don't know if anyone's put anything in the chat box now.
No, I don't think anyone's spoken up yet. It's okay if you feel more comfortable speaking later on. We've got a few more opportunities to be a bit more collaborative later.
Yeah. I'll move on to the next slide then. So today we're doing YHE for those of you who've arrived a little bit late or arrived just on time because we started early. So what we're going to be covering today is where are you now and what are your options. We're going to be looking looking forward to the future, and we're going to be looking ahead. We're going to be doing some studious celebrity quizzes. So we've got some quizzes for you guys, a chance for you to be kind of like interact with us a little bit more and give us your opinions. And also, I'm just going to move my screen. What is higher education and why do people do it? So why do people essentially go to university or pursue other levels of different kind of routes into higher education? Let me just move this here. Sorry, I can't see my screen. Yeah, I'm going to leave this one to Ellie.
Mm-hmm. So Ami's told me quite a bit about your group. So I'm thinking that we're talking about pre-16 education right now. So at your age, you've actually got a lot of options coming up regarding further education. So you might choose to do A levels or a BTEC or another level 3 study, or there's even advanced apprenticeships that you could choose to study, which would be good to focus on in our interview skills that's coming up too. So once you've finished school and you've chosen the path that you want to go down, in a few more years after that, when you get to post 18, you'll have another kind of fork in the road where you've got to make a decision. And these decisions can include undergraduate or honours studies, higher or degree level apprenticeships. You can also do HNDs and HNCs, which are a little bit more higher up in the qualification ladder. So you get about a level 3 or a level 4 or 5 vocational studies qualification. Or you can even do a foundation degree, which lets you explore the subject and the field of work that you want to go in for around a year or two, and it gives you a bit more qualification and understanding around the subject that you might want to go into with like a 4-year degree, let's say.
Okay. Yeah, so we're just going to talk you through some of these options that you might have, or that you might have kind of already heard of or seen because your teachers might have talked about it at school. But I'm just going to ask you if you thought about like, what you want to do after you leave year 11. Are you wanting to go into college and you do like an A level, or are you wanting to go in to college and pursue a BTEC? Before I talk about this in more detail, I just want to get to like know where you guys are up to in terms of your options and your thought processes, because I know like the oldest member in the group might be 16, so you might have already picked what you want to do at college or sixth form. But yeah, just pop it in the chat box or unmute yourself.
I've got the chat box open now. I'll let you know if someone says
Okay,
something.
thank you, Ellie.
Not getting anything through. Does anyone want to unmute themselves and be brave?
Don't worry, we're like not scary people. We're not teachers at all. Yeah, we've left like education about a year ago, so in a similar boat here.
We're still students in our minds.
Yeah. We operate like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if we haven't got anything in the chat box and nobody's typing, I'll just go into it. So, A levels might be something that you kind of have or been told about, or you might have heard of, because it is the most common option that most people do tend to do when they leave year 11. It's the most common way to get into university. And A levels, you simply pick your three subjects that you want to do. You can either mix your just do like a bog standard A level, or you can mix it with some BTECs if you wanted. So, for example, you can do like English literature A level, as well as graphics A level, then mix it in with perhaps like performing arts BTEC or BTEC performing arts kind of thing. So that's what your A levels are. They're a little bit more traditional, and they tend to be like a little bit more heavy on the theory side as well. And most sixth forms, if not all sixth forms, tend to focus on doing A levels, but they do have the BTEC options as well. So just talking more about BTECs, they are the one subject that you tend to do. I did a BTEC at school. What did you, not school? I did BTEC at college. What did you do, Ellie? Did you do an A
I
level?
took 4 A levels, so I did French, history, and English literature, which I took to A level, and I also did AS level biology because I thought that was a good idea to mix sciences and English and essay based subjects. But it's actually coming quite useful every time that I've gone to an interview. If you've got quite a mixed variation of subjects, a lot of employers quite, it's something interesting to speak about. If you've got like two sides of your brain that you use, sometimes you've got a math side and an English side. So it's quite important to spend a lot of time thinking about your options, I think.
Oh, that's really, really good. That's good insight, actually. I did a BTEC, so I did the bog standards of like one subject, and I dedicated my 2-3 years at college doing that. And it is good to note that BTECs are accepted more widely by most universities, if not all of them. Maybe Oxbridge, if we're talking about that kind of sort of league, they might not accept BTECs, at least not for the time being. Maybe in the near future, who knows? But yeah, they tend to be slightly more practical, a little bit more hands-on. If you're the type of person that really likes learning by doing things, so I know I really like sort of experimenting with things, and I like practical things as well. But you do have the option of doing, there is a bit of the research and coursework side as well. And I know that some BTECs are doing exams nowadays as well, so that is getting introduced into it, just to add a little bit more theory and examination, to make the course make the qualification a little bit more rigorous. And then we've got apprenticeships, which is another viable option that you can do at a college. You pick your one subject that is linked to a industry or a sector that you want to go into, whether that be early years or kind of like construction or hospitality, anything that you want to do. You pick that, and then you kind of go to the job as well. So you're going to the job as well as coming to college. I think you come to college or something for about a day, 1 day a week, and then you spend the kind of like the next 3-4 days at the workplace doing that. And then something else that you might have not heard of, that is fairly new. It got introduced last year, 2020, and it's the T levels. Qualification that is new. So you pick one subject, it's more technical skills. I believe Bolton College has one in construction at the moment. They might have others, but I was just doing a little quick Google search on that, and I know that Bolton College do have one in construction. So they tend to be like in, I believe they've got some in law, in accounting as well. So some of the other ones that that you might have kind of thought, oh, maybe they don't have that in that, but they do have it in law and accounting as well. So it's quite good to note that they do have that qualification, and it is new. So it's mixed with classroom learning, so a little bit like A levels. You can kind of think of it like that. Kind of A level meets BTEC meets apprenticeships, and then you do a classroom based learning, and then you do a 45-day work experience, which is always good to get like industry experience in anywhere that you end up going. Just kind of like have that in the back of in your pocket, just to say, you've done some days in industry. Experience is always valuable. And then it's always best to research what colleges do them, because I don't believe Bolton Sixth Form does them at the moment. I don't know if the other colleges in Bury or Rochdale, maybe Holy Bolton College does it. So it's always quite good to research it ahead of time, to think of where you might be based. So yeah, that is level 3 though. So that's the level 3 options, and you guys are at level 2 GCSE kind of level right now. So you are going to be moving up there one point or another in the next 2 years or in a year's time. So that's that's A levels and level 3 kind of overview. Yeah. We've got a little bit of a quiz for you. I'm going to hand it over to Ellie to start it off with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is to see if we have said anything memorable. We really do need you to really like put it in the chat. Either put a T or an F for true or false if you don't want to turn your camera on, just because this section won't really work without us kind of collaborating together. So yeah, if you want to press the next slide on me.
Yeah, so actually this one's my one. So if you were listening to me in my previous slide, you'll know this answer, and it'll be so easy for you. A levels are a good idea if for those who wish to experience workplace, or for those who want to keep their options open. So if you were listening to Ellie, you'll know this answer, and it'll be pretty straightforward for you. So feel free to put kind of like, if it makes it easier for you. I was thinking about this when I was like practicing. It might be easier for you to put orange or purple, or like O or P, for one for which one you wanna do. 2, someone put true. I'm guessing 2 means this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Abigail, that's great. Yeah, so it is true. For those of you who listened and heard Ellie's point of view, it is good for you if you want to keep your options open. And it's nice to be able to do lots of different subjects and then go on to university, or go on to the next steps, having a lot more experience and a lot more theory behind you. So yeah, the next one. Well done to those who participated and got it right as well. Oh, somebody else is coming. Gonna admit them. Oh gosh, 1 second. Oh, again, I think this one's me. Do PTECs? No, do universities accept PTECs? So you can put orange, or like you put an O or a P in there. They do not accept BTECs, or they do accept BTECs. Let me know. Can you see
quite
the
a few
chat box,
responses
Ellie?
now. Yeah. So we've just had a true from Jemima, a yes, most do from Natalie, and then 2 purples from Abigail and Jemima again. So everyone's got that right so far.
Amazing. Yeah, so you're right. If you said purple, they do accept they do accept BTEC, sorry. So yeah, depending on what university you want to go to, they do accept them for the most part, at least right now. We've not got all the universities in the UK accepting them, but for the most part, about 95% I would say accept BTEC. So I wouldn't worry if that is what you've chosen to do, because you'll still get in. Oh, I think this is all mine.
Yeah.
We'll go on to this one. If you undertake apprenticeships, you are automatically selected, provided you get the right grades, or you will have to fill in an application form and interview like an ordinary person. Which one is it? I know this one's slightly more complex because we didn't really go into detail with it, but hopefully you'll
You've
have
got a good
some.
instinct.
Yeah. You'll just know. So, is it orange or purple?
I've had one purple, two
Uh,
purples.
Amazing. Yeah. So it is. You're right. It is purple. You have to fill out an application form and interview like everybody else. And I think it's always good to note that apprenticeships are quite hard to come by, even though like a lot of people used to think like that's the easier option. It actually isn't the case. So, when you pick to do an apprenticeship, you do have a level of sort of I guess decisiveness to kind of go there and apply for it, because you are interviewing like sort of a person that is going to a job and that is getting paid by the employer. So there is that as well. It's not kind of like straightforward. Will you just get in? You'll have to go through the interview process, and you normally have to have the right grade. So it's like standard 5 GCSEs, including English and maths. For all of these qualifications that we've mentioned, English and maths is imperative to get. So it is very important that you have your English and maths to before you get into doing all of these ones as well. Just to note it in there, I'm sure your teachers will be happy to hear me say that, but that is something we should mention. Yeah, the next one is if you study T levels, you will have 45 days of work experience included, or most of your time in the workplace with occasional study days. So which one is it? Is it orange or purple?
Yeah. Miracle just put P with a question mark. You're correct.
Okay. Yeah, most of your time in a actually, I think most of your time in the workplace with occasional study days. So yeah, 45 days of study. You will have that time allocated for you to like sort of go into work placement, but you will also have the days where you will go to college or sixth form to study. So it might have actually got that one mixed up a little bit. It is 45 days of somebody else is coming, so I'm going to let them in.
I
It
think
is
that was more
45
to do
days
with,
of placement. Sorry,
sorry.
go on, Ellie.
I was just going to say, I think the mix up there is T levels are more specifically now drawn. It's trying to draw people in that want to be doing and enhancing practical skills for certain things, especially in like technology sectors. So that might be why that's got a bit messed up there.
Yeah, I think you're right. So it is the case where you are going to do the 45-day placement. It might not be 45 days straight. It might be 45 days kind of like throughout the year or throughout like a semester or something. So it is going to be the case if you pick to do T levels, just to bear that in mind. It won't just be like you working all the time and occasionally studying. Unfortunately, the government isn't that generous if you wanted to do that. So yeah, just to kind of go through these kind like the overview of the next few qualifications that you have. We've talked a lot about the level 3 qualifications, but just kind of like thinking ahead from that, we have like level 4s, which are HNCs, and then we found that also is included in the foundation degrees, and then we've got level 5. All of these stuff will make sense to you like once you actually go on to doing it, once you've progressed. So we're gonna like briefly talk over it. I'm not gonna like bombard you with names that you probably won't even remember. So level 5, we've got HNDs, which stands for Higher National Diploma, which is the same for Higher National Certificate. So these ones are slightly similar. The only thing that is different about them is the duration. So this one's 2 years and this one's a year. And with that, you get a level 5 qualification. And then we've got the level 6 qualification, which tends to be an honors degree if you complete the whole thing. So if you completed your honors degree, which both myself and Ellie have done, and I believe Daniel's also done that as well. So congratulations for completing your degree. And that is known as higher education. So that's what higher education is a mixture of all of these different things. It's not just university. I know a lot of people tend to think higher education is just university, but we've got HNCs, HNDs, foundation degrees, and top-up degrees. And then to throw some things in the mix, we've got higher and degree apprenticeships, which are apprenticeships that you can achieve at level 6 or level 4 or 5. And these ones would be where you study and then go to a university at the same time, and then you can get your you can get like an equivalent to an honors degree. So you get a degree out of it whilst working at a company, and they tend to pay for you. So if you really want to do apprenticeships when I leave school, it might be good to actually bear that in mind, that even if you do end up going to pursue an apprenticeship, you might still be able to, granted, if your firm or if your company decides to pay for you, you can still get that level 6 qualification if you wanted to, and then you've got that qualification in the bag as well. And that means you are able to progress on to kind of like different careers, or climb up the career ladder a little bit more faster if you've got that qualification in your back pocket, because it's with you for the rest of your life then. And it's not just about you having the skills, but it's also about you having the skills and the knowledge to be able to do that job as well. So that's higher education. We've got a quiz for you that I'm going to let Ellie introduce and talk to you guys about.
Yeah, so we've got a game where we need you to match or guess what the celebrities studied at degree level. So, Vami, you want to show the celebrities that we're talking
Yes.
about?
Yeah.
So you'll probably know a lot of these people. So Meghan Markle, for example, Alex from Love Island, and all the degrees at the bottom just need to be matched with the celebrity. So if you want to put it in the chat, maybe just put the name and the degree if you wanted to get involved.
Yeah, so we can start with like Dr. Alex if you wanted. So what
Yeah.
degree do you guys think Dr. Alex did? I know he's really active right now and it might be quite obvious as to what he did. So
We've got
put it
one
in the
answer
chat.
already. We've got medicine. So
Medicine. Well, shall we see? Yes,
mhm.
you're right. He did do medicine. Quite an obvious one.
So we've also got the TikTok founder next. So what would you presume his degree would have been in? You thinking about developing software, using a lot of technology?
Did you do French and classics maybe? You never know. Degrees can get you anywhere.
Joe said software engineer, which I think is quite an educated guess, Joe.
Yeah, you're right there, Joe. Well done.
But J.K. Rowling, this might be a bit of an odd one. If you think about something called transferable skills, a lot of degrees. So, for example, I did French and history. They give you skills that are easily transferred to other roles. So, for example, writing, communication skills, things like that. What would you guess for J.K. Rowling? Communication, English.
Communications. Anybody
English
else
is
got any guesses?
Natalie said English. If you
English.
if you do like language studies, that's all about creating pieces of literature, creative writing. So that could work, but I don't think that's the right answer, is it?
Sorry, I pressed the button. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it is. Or did somebody else? I can see the chat flashing, so I don't know if that means somebody else put something else in the
No,
chat
yeah,
box.
Abigail said French. You were right, Abby.
Yeah, yeah, it is French and classics. It's like similar to what I was going to say similar to what Ellie did, but you did French, so there is
French
that
and history.
similarity.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, French and classics, French and history. So there you go. Never know. Ellie might roll out to be the next J.K. Rowling. You
Yeah,
just
you
watch
heard it here first.
that. She's gonna leave Jam higher and pursue her desires to be a writer.
You
Um,
know Stones, guys.
all right, John Legend. What do you think he did?
Drama. Got English and African American studies.
Ooh,
Someone's quite on the ball there.
yeah, yeah, you are. Well done to whoever said that. You are
Listen, Natalie said
definitely
that.
right. Yeah, so and he's a singer, so just to kind of show you, he didn't do, something that is related to what he's currently doing. So yeah,
He does use a lot of that knowledge now, though, doesn't he, with his activism and the work that he does in America.
yeah, no, that's so true. That's very, very true.
Then we've got like the best woman of all time, Michelle Obama. What do you think she did? Sociology and African studies.
Oh, you guys are on this.
Yeah,
Just
Joe was on that.
yeah. Good.
Meghan Markle, what would you guess she did? Does everyone know what she did before she became a Duchess? Drama.
This one's kind of like I'm gonna give it to someone, and I did this one to trick everyone. So if you've got it, you might have got it right, but also it's kind of like a mini little joiner. What are the guesses, Ellie? Sorry, go on.
You got, well, everyone's saying she did movies, she was an actress. Joe said drama, Natalie said drama as well. What's the
Oh, so she does have a degree in theatre and international studies, and she has another degree in communications. So I thought I'd put that in there as opposed to just kind of like actress, because like obviously a lot of her work right now, or when she was in Britain, was a lot of kind of like activism and humanitarian work. So yeah, her communications degree would have probably helped her in that as well.
answer?
Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of the degree, but I would imagine there is an important kind of portion of that where it requires you to study about communicating with people and building connections and those kinds of stuff. So that's the reason why I picked that degree instead of her other degree. So well done if you got drama right, because she did do that as well.
So if anyone's watched Bridgerton this lockdown, you'll know who this guy is. Does anyone know? We've got a drama guess, we've got an English guess. Well, it's 50-50. You've got a really good chance now.
Yeah, so well done if you got drama. I can't pronounce his name, but I think it's Reggae Jean or something like that, or the other. Yeah.
Sounds a bit French.
Yeah, I think it is French. I heard him pronounce it one time. But yeah, drama.
Yeah, so Emma
Yeah.
Watson's left with English then.
Yeah. This just kind of like to like sum it up is like all the degrees you do obviously lend you to have gain skills from it that help you to pursue other things as well, just like myself and Ellie, who have done very completely different degrees but ended up in the same job, because we have skills that we have learned from our degrees that have kind of have enabled us to do the job that we're currently doing. So
I think Michelle
just to show
Obama's a
you that.
good example for that, isn't she? Like the transferable skills that you would gain from studying sociology and African American studies when you're put in like the political landscape in America and you need to be a really well informed political figure. Those sorts of studies were really useful. So that, like Amy said, like transferable skills too. So, for example, in Ami's degree doing drama, you've got to be confident, and in mine, you've got to have really good communication skills. So I think that helps us be better presenters. I don't know. You can
Yeah,
tell us
definitely.
after this.
Yeah, you could tell us in the feedback, but it's all in all just to kind of say, like it gives you skills that you probably wouldn't get if you just kind of went straight into the workplace. You might get those skills, but I think theory always helps to back things up as well, because you learn about the importance of why doing that is, and also like look forward to the future as well. So all of these different people have different degrees and have obviously been very, very successful in their kind of field of work. Um, so yeah, I'm going to move on to the next slide, which is why higher education. So me and Ellie have been obviously kind of putting a personal spin on this, but just to kind of give you like research-based answers as to why going to higher education might be good, is one of them obviously being it gives you a fast track into some careers, not all careers, but some. Like policing, for example, is kind of like thought to say that in the next couple of years you I think it is still right now. I'm pretty sure you have to have a level 6 qualification to become a police officer. So they are introducing that in as well in 2022. 50% of certain industries will require you to have a degree, or like a level 6 qualification, sorry, not just a degree. And also, you have the opportunity to travel to different countries. Perhaps, like Ellie said, you did a year abroad.
Yeah.
Where?
So
Paris? Yeah.
yeah, I worked on my year abroad, so you'll have the option whether you want to work or study. I chose to work because I wanted to make my CV a lot better. So I went and spent 6 months working for a marketing agency. So I helped open the second Primark in the whole of France. I did all the marketing for that, and then after that, I moved into banking and I was teaching French bankers to speak English. So that was really fun as well. But the
Wow.
opportunities are
That's-
actually endless. You can go to Australia and study, and the fun that you have and the people that you meet there is just great. I picked my degree based on the fact that I wanted to be able to do a year abroad. So, and don't let um, money
Oh,
and
amazing.
things like that put you off, because that's one of the things that my parents kept bringing up when I said I wanted to do a degree so I could travel. There's so many things in place to help you now be able to attain these sorts of experiences. So yeah, that's really important to remember.
Oh, amazing. That's super cool. I didn't know you did that. Learning more things about my colleague as we go on. But that's super awesome. But yeah, like Ellie said, that there is a lot of support as well to help you kind of achieve what you want to do, whether that's academic support. I know when I was at the University of Bolton, I will put my hands down and say they've got like one of the best support kind of systems for their own students, as well as guidance, whether that be sort of like financial support or guidance on sort of finance and things like that, and your next steps after you leave university or you leave that institution or whatever you were studying. You also have the opportunity to volunteer, whether that be kind of like volunteer in the UK or volunteering abroad. You still have that opportunity to do that. And then you gain transferable skills, which we keep banging on about, and hopefully you'll walk away from this presentation today with the word transferable skills at the forefront of your mind, and you'll think, at least I've taken something away. You also get the opportunity to network with lots of different people from different countries, and also from different walks of life. I know that in my course we had someone from Bulgaria, we had someone from Ireland, so like lots of different people. It's quite nice to have that blend. Um, and you also get the chance to develop in depth. You get the opportunity to gain, and it's the reason why you've gone to university in the first place, to pursue that and to get the qualification in it as well. So that's a little bit more about it. We're going to be doing a little bit of like a true or false. I was gonna hand it to Ellie, but I'm gonna see whose turn it is to present. But hopefully it's both me and her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's both me and her. All we want you guys to do is just like put a T or to put like F in the chat box. Yeah, I'll let you do the first one, Ellie.
Mm-hmm. So you have to move away from home to go to uni. True or false? False from Jemima. False from Natalie. False from Liz. True from Abigail. You've all got it.
Yeah. So, number two, you need to decide exactly which job you want in order to go to university. True or false?
So false, true from Joe, false from Abigail, false from Natalie, false from Miracle.
Oh,
Can you give the
lovely.
answer?
Yeah, so it is false. You don't have to know exactly what job you want to do in order to go to university. I think that's the beauty of it. You can go with, not knowing what you want to do, and you can just go and figure it out. Both myself, I would say I genuinely did not know what job. Sorry, my household is very busy. I did not know what I wanted to do when I went to university. All I sort of knew was I had I had something in mind, but it wasn't like set in stone. And I wanted to go to university to obviously learn more about theatre and also to like figure out what my next steps would be. So that's it's false. You don't have to know.
Yeah, I still don't know now. I think when you're at uni, is like the experiences that you have and the volunteering, the modules that you pick can really help you figure it out. But there's no pressure. You don't need to think, oh, I need to go and do marketing and communications because I want to become a top tier marketer or whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be rich to go to university. Is that true or false? False. True. True. False. Quite a mixed bag on that. So realistically, you don't have to be rich to go to university at all. There's such like a myth behind it, and I feel it does increase the gap between people that do feel like they have the money and people that don't. But the government, universities, even local councils, there's a lot of support that can be given to you to make sure that you're financially stable whilst you're at university. There's also opportunities to work and gain money yourself. I think part-time jobs at uni are actually a great thing. I had one since the second week of uni. I got one. It was my whole job, my job the entire way through uni, and that meant that I never had to turn around to my mum and dad and ask them for money, and I didn't want to because that was quite a bit of pressure on them. So yeah, that's true. You don't have to be rich to go to uni. Don't let anyone make you think that.
Yeah, definitely. We've also got a workshop on that as well in the last one to kind of help you understand a little bit more of where the money might come from. Well, where the money will come from because your parents won't be paying for you. So yeah, watch out for that one. And then four is unis only take students from a certain background. They don't consider anyone else. Is that true or false?
False, false, false.
I like to hear it. It is false. So we try to eliminate class divides on this one because it doesn't matter where you're coming from. So long as you want to go to university and you've obviously met the requirements to go to university, then you are absolutely welcome to go. The government will give you the funding and the loan to be able to do that. And so, even if you were the richest person out there, you can still that option is eligible for you to sort of take out a loan if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. So it's good that you guys said false.
Right, final question. It's not just A levels. There are lots of different qualifications that will get you into uni. What do you think? True? True? Another true? Yeah, I think you all know that this is true. So, like Ami's already explained, there's even apprenticeships that will put you through uni now. So many different courses except BTEC rather than just A levels or a mixture of them. It just depends where you want to apply for and what course it is that you're looking at because some of them will require A levels. For example, medicine, you will need, your maths and your sciences. But with that, again, there's different ways to get onto it. If you wanted to do pre-med after you've done something different, or if you've taken subjects that are a bit more creative and you decide you want to go into medicine, the good thing with uni that I think is that you're never too late. There's always a time to change your direction.
Definitely. So I think to summarize the whole presentation, because we're coming to the end of it now, and we always obviously encourage people to ask questions. So, whilst you're sitting there and whilst we're wrapping up, just encourage you to think of some questions that you might have, or if you have anything that you wanted us to clarify, then definitely pop it in the chat box, and whilst I'm summarizing. So Obviously, a degree is now a requirement for large number of professions. Not all of them. It is good to also note that it's not all professions that require you to have a degree or to have a level 6 qualification. But as of 2022, most kind of like jobs, 50% of jobs will require you to actually have a level 6 qualification, whether that be apprenticeships or whether that be a traditional degree. So just to kind of like bear that in mind. It improves your career prospects. There is a statistic that state that people who have gone to university too tend to earn a lot higher than people who haven't gone to university or do not have that level 6 qualification. As well, and you will develop very important and transferable skills to help you in your future career. Most certainly, me and Ellie are both examples of that. We are both doing a job but possess very different degrees, and it's because of the skills that we have and obviously some of the knowledges that we possess that helped us to get here in the first place. It is important to study a subject that you are passionate about. This is something that we always encourage. Passion produces productivity. Do you remember that? So doing something that you love, you'll always tend to do a lot better, doing something that you love than doing something that you're not so passionate about and that you don't have a lot of enthusiasm for. So that is something we do encourage you to think about when you're picking your options, especially for college, and also if you want to go into sort of higher education. Is something that we definitely encourage you to think about and to take into consideration. And then it develops your self confidence, independence, and understanding of the world. Definitely for independence, and it's probably something that I didn't touch on, but it is something that I feel like is slightly overlooked, because once you go to university and once you've perhaps moved out and you've gone that step further, you do gain that level of independence that perhaps you wouldn't gain if you just stayed at home, or if you didn't go to university, or if you didn't pursue the degree or get that level 6 qualification, because you're not being challenged in that way. Not to say that you won't ever gain independence if you don't go to university or anything, but it just means that you do get there a little bit faster because the circumstances change a lot more quickly and you have to adapt to them. And it also broadens your social and cultural interest and introduces you to new people, new places. So like Ellie, who went to France and worked there and managed to interact with lots of different people, you can do the same as well if you pick a subject or a course that allows you to do that. But I also got the opportunity to work in America for 3 months at the end of my second year, and I was able to meet lots of different people by doing that. So you do have the opportunity to always increase your social and cultural awareness. So yeah, that's the summary. If you have any
questions. I've got a question from Joe already in the chat box. So he said that he's currently in his first year of health and social care, level 4 and 5, and he's struggling with PowerPoints. And have we got a system on here to show? Can you elaborate on that, Joe? Like what you mean?
Hang on. Yeah, what it is, because I've got to do 2 levels, one on drug misuse, and I'm doing one on alcohol misuse, tagging along with warming systems. But I'm just struggling because I'm not used to computers, you see, so it's like struggling to do the PowerPoints, really.
Yeah.
Have you had any tips?
So I think YouTube is like the best resource. I think there's some so Google Garage is like an online database, and it helps you can find probably a course in anything. There's going to be one on Microsoft Excel, there'll be one on Word and one on PowerPoint as well, but otherwise I would look on YouTube, and it'll just give you a rundown and sometimes quite specific videos of anything you might be struggling with. I think with PowerPoint it's just like a trial and error thing. You just get used to it over time, but it is hard if you've got a deadline to meet, and it's like foreign.
Like I say, I've got everything written down and I've put majority of it on. It's just like when I'm in class with tutor, obviously everything's written on paper. So I transferred some of it today with the help of my teacher, but it's like when I'm at home, it's like, right, well, I understand it when I get there. So obviously I was just going to do what you just said on the YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I'll just take it from there.
Yeah, someone will be able to explain it really well. Just look for whatever's got the most views.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And that's really good advice, Ellie. And I think, like, obviously, if you don't understand it, I know that right now we're all working from home, but like once you get back into college, I think it's always worth mentioning to your teacher if they can just give you a tutorial. Unfortunately, GM Hire does not like do something specifically towards that, and if it did, obviously we'd let you know. But
Thank you.
I think it's always really good to like perhaps ask your teacher just to give you a tutorial, even if it's just for an hour, just to like give you a quick rundown on how to use everything. It will give you the basic skills that you need. But I think for the
Yeah.
time being, definitely Google it and look up
Felicia's backed us up there as well. I mean, she said that YouTube's the best. It shows you bit by bit how to go about it. So maybe
Thank
you
you.
could chat between yourself and Natalie so you got any good
I
advice.
will do.
Amazing.
Thank you.
No worries.
I don't know if you have any more questions. But yeah, no. Kind of like we've got evaluations next, which is just kind of like give your opinion on how you found today's session. If you found it really boring, you can let us know. If you found it really great and you loved hearing from us, then do let us know. We don't get the feedback, it goes straight to our monitoring team and evaluation team, so we don't get to see it. So don't worry about it coming back to us or offending us. We won't really mind. Would you be able to put the link in the chat box, Ellie?
Yeah, I just popped it in.
All right, perfect. Thank you. But yeah, click on that link and then just like fill out the survey. It takes about 2 minutes to complete, not even. So yeah, just let us know what you think. And that's evaluations. But if at the end of this session you had a few questions and you couldn't wait till the next session, or if you just wanted a little bit more kind of like advice on other things that we might not be covering, then you can always go to the Ask Us platform. Ellie, would you be able to pop the link in the chat box if you can? Thank you. Yeah, so you can go there. Both myself and Ellie are on there, along with our other colleagues and outreach officers who will be able to give you advice on anything that you wanted to ask, whether that be student finance or student life or anything like sort of higher education related. Then definitely go ahead and ask us on there. I know that it's National Apprenticeship Week, I believe, this week, and also like it's the Careers Week as well on the 8th from the in March. I want to say the 8th of March or the 1st of March till the 8th of March. It's then. So if you have any questions on there, then definitely just kind of give us like sort of drop us a line and we'll be able to answer your questions.